Welcome back. Another GM Facepalm episode today. Welcome. We're going to go into race builds. Advanced Race Guide, if you're familiar with that. In the back of the book, they feature a section on creating your own races. This is quite a good system on fleshing out your own particular race. For a lot of player characters out there, sometimes it starts with a race before they build their foundation and select other things like class and traits and spells and all that other good stuff. Sometimes it just starts with the race and not the class. And finding a good race. Well, being that this is Pathfinder, the system for versatility and variety, why restrict the races? Not saying that Pathfinder does, but maybe you're just looking for the right particular race, and mid the over 50 whatever races, something doesn't jump out at you, or you're looking for a particular theme set within the Galarian backdrop. Well, anyway, today we're going to go with the Sinspawn. If you're familiar with that, you should know some information about that. Relative to Thessalonian, maybe Ancient Aslant. But anyway, they come and are created from the Rune Lords, or one particular Rune Lord. Although they have stats, somewhat partial stats, for the other associated sins. So at some point, some of the other Rune Lords started making their own Sinspawn. So this creature, this race, would be particularly well suited for, let's say, Rise of the Rune Lords, Jade Regent, where that is set near a Sin Well. Shattered Star. I believe there's a Lust Spawn featured in there. So there's only like one or two great pieces of art for this race, so you would be a little challenged trying to find something as far as portraits go, particularly for online group. But needless to say, the Sinspawn could be a great character. One maybe trying to battle against its sin, trying to reverse the effects. Maybe one who fights towards the righteous part of it, the virtue, sin and virtue. In the Rise of Rune Lords Anniversary Edition, I can give you a page number. Let's see here. Can I actually give you a page number? No, I can't. Anyway, in the Anniversary Edition, there's a lot of great info on the sin traits, or sin mage, things with playing towards your sins, playing against your sins. I took some of that to go with the Sinspawn. So a great character, maybe trying to balance its own sin, maybe trying to go towards the adverse, or I should say the reverse effect of that, playing against your sins. So anyway, the Sinspawn. Sinspawn are corrupted products of magic used by spellcasters in a past era as shock troops for their armies. Literally, the embodiment of a sin made flesh. They are sentient abominations of distilled ectoplasm, imprinted with the sole image of slain creatures that possess an abundance of a particular sin. On the wiki, it showed something about when 4 creatures of a particular embodiment of sin, once they're slain, part of that sin goes into this well, and from that they're created. So a lot of these Sinspawn have died out, because we're talking about thousands of years have gone by, or you could have one for like a present day era where they came from a active sin well, rune well, or one that was held in magical stasis. So you have a lot of options there. As far as the racial point cost on this, it came out to 19 RP. So it is viable for balance-wary GMs or players. A lot of things will be between, well, your uncommon races will be around 11 to 19 or so. Things like the Azamars, Undines, Dampiers, Drow, Durgar, I think maybe. But anyway, a lot of things like that. The Sinspawn will fit right in there with that racial tier. And as far as the ability score modifiers, I'll post all this stuff so you can skip this video, go right to the bottom, and just go for the crunch there. But if you want, just stick around. I'll go through some of this stuff here. As far as ability scores, each particular sin, they have their own unique ability modifiers, so I went with that array. So for all of them it'll be a 1-point cost, but you'll see that their modifier quality differs based upon their sin. They are aberrations. Medium. They have fast speed, so you're looking at 40 feet rather than the normal 30-foot speed. Of course, Darkvision. Their immunities is that they would be immune to mind effect and effects. You'll notice here that I try to keep the Sinspawn, or just any races really, I try to keep them in line with the bestiary stats as much as possible. This is a CR2, so there should be quite a lot of flexibility to where this won't be blown out, won't be overpowered. Spell resistance, 11 plus their character level. Sinful Bite, I went right with the bestiary listing for Sinful Bite. They have claws, hardened skin. And then there's the Sintrait. Sinspawn receive a particular trait based on their soul sin. So you'll have to refer to the Sintrait entry below, which, as far as sin traits, each particular Sinspawn, whether they're envy, glutton, greed, each of them you'll have a trait that can correspond to that race. These I created. So for the envy spawn, at character creation, envy spawn can choose command or forbid action as a spell-like ability once per day. The caster level of the spell is equal to character level. Glutton spawn. Glutton spawn can identify potions and poisons by taste. Gain a +2 bonus on saving throws against disease and poison. Greed spawn. Obsessed with gathering wealth and power, Greed spawn gain a +2 bonus on sleight of hand checks. Sleight of hand is always a class skill. Lust spawn. Lust spawn seek to draw attention to themselves, gain a +2 bonus on any one performed skill. Pride spawn are supremely confident, gain a +2 bonus on saving throws against fear and despair effects. Sloth spawn, I really like this one. At character creation, Sloth spawn can choose Litany of Sloth or Fumbleton as a spell-like ability once per day. The caster level of the spell is equal to character level. Then there's Wrath spawn. Attacking with Savage Hatred, Wrath spawn can use Wrath as a spell-like ability once per day. The caster level of the spell is equal to character level. So there's some options there. They're sin traits to go with each particular sin for that particular race. So there's those available. And then I also created Sin Familiarity, which is Sinspawn receive military training in the proficiency of a particular weapon associated to their sin. For the normal stat block of the Sinspawn, they just list the Rancier, if I'm saying that right, a spear-like weapon. I don't really think that should be associated to just all the sins. So you can switch this list around if you want, but I made my own as far as what sin corresponds to which weapon. So for envy, they have the halberd. Gluttony, bardich. Greed, they get the glaive. Lust, the Girisarm. Pride, the Lucerne hammer. Sloth, the bill, and Wrath, the Ranseur. You can switch those around if you want, but maybe even if your player really wants a particular weapon, you can switch that around. There's no real set in stone sort of stack there. So I went with Sin Eater for a Sinspawn feat. I just kind of went out. I was looking at the Sin Eater, the Cleric archetype, and the Dampier blood drinking ability. So I kind of put something together going on that. I'll post that down below. Won't bore you too much with that. But as far as alternate racial traits, we have past life knowledge. Sinspawn remember memories encoded into their particular sin from slain creatures. They treat all knowledge skills as class skills. This trait replaces hardened skin. So they replace their natural armor bonus of +1, and they can get knowledge skill, all of them, as class skills. So that kind of goes along with the whole flavor text there of acquiring these sins from slain creatures. There would be some encoded knowledge, some past life memories from that. So I thought that would be a particularly useful trait, especially with spellcasters or lore-based characters. And then there's Sin Scent. Sinspawn have scent against creatures whose nature reflects a Sinspawn's sin. For example, Raspawn Sinspawn can scent creatures using rage effects. The GM should abdicate what creatures a particular Sinspawn can scent. This trait reduces speed to 30 feet. So there you have a little bit of option there. Maybe your player wants to come up with what he can scent, or maybe the GM. So that gives you a little bit of option there as far as what things you want to scent. I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, you can look at the Rise of the Rune Lords Anniversary Edition to look at the Sin Mage, where the wizards follow the ancient philosophies governing sin magic, where they specialize in sin magic and must be made when a character first becomes a wizard. Once the choice to do so is made, it cannot be changed, and they receive 2 additional spell slots of each spell level he can cast. Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, it's kind of like a specialist. So, and then they prohibit other schools of magic that are not in line with that sin. So, but what I thought was really good here, as far as like a player's guide for this race anyway, I liked in the Anniversary Edition they talk about playing to your sins. Sinspawn characters may wish to revel in their inner nature while bestowing a lasting impression among traveling companions. Envy, complaining loudly or frequently of about another party's member's good fortune, skill, or luck. So there's some role-playing advice for you there. Gluttony, getting drunk multiple times during the game session. I'm sure that could get old after a while, but that is an option. Greed, robbing another PC or hiding a significant amount of treasure for yourself. Sounds kind of like a Kender, if you're familiar with Dragonlance. So some of these could combat with your party members, but remember, this is a Sinspawn. Lust, eagerly accepting solicitations or seducing a party member. Pride, bragging about how nothing was challenging or scary. Sloth, encouraging the party to stop and rest for a day after only having 1 or 2 significant encounters in that day. Wrath, eagerly torturing a prisoner. So, playing to your sins. Maybe the Sinspawn would be particularly well for, what is the name of that AP? Hell's Vengeance. Yes, the one where you become evil characters. Maybe this Sinspawn would be well-suited PC. Alright, playing against your sin. So kind of going along virtue here. Sinspawn characters may wish to rebel against their inner nature and rise to virtue among good-hearted heroes. Envy, which would actually be charity. Spend significant time tending the wounded free of charge, spreading your wealth to those in need. Gluttony, which is temperance. Spend a game session without drinking at a tavern with your companions. You kind of get off easy with that one. Greed, which is generosity. Turn over your findings to their rightful owners. Lust, which is love. Given a PC or NPC a romantic gift worth at least 1,000 gold pieces per level. Sounds kind of like a Jade Regent thing. Pride, which is humility. Refusing to accept award or praise. Sounds like a paladin. Sloth, which is zeal. Encourage the party to continue on when things seem unfinished. Wrath, which would be kindness. Releasing a surrendered enemy and healing its wounds for the best chances of survival. So a lot of these things for the virtue here, I could see some issues with your players as well, especially if you're particularly zealous in trying to play out some of these actions here. Either way, I see some discord amid the group, but it could be interesting, entertaining, and have a nice spotlight on your character, and maybe play up your backstory as well. So I think this race kind of adds to the fluff that you could flesh out for this particular race. So yeah, again, 19 racial points. That should fit in well with the other races. So if you're looking for something of a Thessalonian Aslan sort of theme, there is that one AP mentioned that will be upcoming, the Ruins of Aslant or something like that, another new adventure path. So maybe it could fit in there. So anyway, that's all I got. I think I bored you enough, but I have more races that are already done. Just need to make the time to make the videos and get back to some more reviews. So, still around, still making videos, not going away. See you soon.